Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's Diva the Divine Light, coming back with another part to our read of Confessions of Daddy's Little Freak. So far, I hope you guys are enjoying this book. I know I am. It's very, very deep and makes you scratch your head a little bit. So we're on the chapter of Barely Breathing. The next few months were interesting. Daddy had been talking marriage a lot and drilling me with 1,000,001 what-if scenarios. I guess I was excited about it too, but I can't lie. Him keeping me separate from those chicks didn't make me feel... didn't make me forget they existed. I wanted them gone. If he wanted to go all the way with me, I felt I should have been all he needed. I don't know when he'd see them or even where they were, but I just knew he wasn't done with them. Oh, brother, you see that? That's what happens with all these girls. They're fighting to take the number one spot. But the thing is, he doesn't want them like that. He doesn't want any of them like that. It's all about a sexcapade for him. He's sick, y'all. So let's continue. I remember waking up feeling real bitchy one day. I have something called PPMD. So I have serious ass mood swings right before that time of the month. But I woke up feeling real bitchy, showered, did my thing, and got back in bed. Excuse me. I don't know where the hell he was, but it was probably best he wasn't around because I wasn't in a sour ass mood. And out of nowhere, I just started wondering where those bitches were. Like, where are they? Was he still sleeping with them? Was he still seeing them? Would I have to deal with them throughout our marriage? Was that what he meant by even if he fucked up? My thoughts were racing, and I became angry. Yeah, I can imagine what Andrea went through. Like, she must have been scratching her head, too, because in the documentary, she talked about, when the hell did he have time to do all of this? Like, where? When? I don't understand. But, like they were saying, he had plenty of help. He couldn't do all of this alone. That's impossible. So let's continue. That just had to bring me there. In the midst of my racing thoughts, Daddy FaceTimed me. Oddly, his timing was always in sync with my thoughts. His face lit up when he saw me. I could tell he was in the studio by his background. He asked if I was okay and if I needed anything. I told him I was and that I didn't. He asked if I was sure I was okay, and I told him yes. He said, okay. He just wanted to check on me and he loved me. I just hung up. 45 minutes later, he was waking me up with kisses. I asked what he was doing back so early. I honestly thought he'd be in the studio all night. And he said, what kind of man would I be if I didn't know when something wasn't right with my baby? I couldn't lie. Him saying that made me smile, but my thoughts were running wild. He sat down and signaled for me to come sit on his lap. I did, and he asked what was on my mind. I instantly started to cry. My tears were like a waterfall, and I'll never forget how overprotective and angry he got. He thought someone had did something to me or said something crazy. I told him that wasn't it. So he calmed down and said in the softest voice, Well, baby, tell Daddy what's wrong. You know you can talk to me. I looked him in his eyes and called him by his first name. Robert. Oh, Robert. Pendeja. You know you can talk to me. I looked him in his eyes and called him by his first name. And I never do that. But I asked him if he was still seeing those girls. He laughed, and I was infuriated. He was like, calm down, Rocky. Is that what you're worried about? I told him, yes. I told him I didn't want to share him with anybody anymore. I told him I wanted them gone. I told him I wouldn't be with him if he didn't get rid of them. Excuse me. I told him I couldn't. He separated himself from me while rolling his eyes, said he was leaving because I was tripping. I just sat there looking dumbfounded because I couldn't believe he was really giving me the cold shoulder over this. When he left, he slammed the door so hard, it felt like the floor rumbled. I knew he was pissed. I just started crying again. My thoughts continued to race, but now I was thinking, damn, I fucked up. Maybe I should have just let shit flow. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. But then there was that voice that was like, don't you dare feel guilty for knowing your worth and putting your foot down. Don't you dare compromise your happiness for him. Don't you dare. Hell yeah, girl. Don't you dare. Shit, I would have been out the door. That scenario that he got going on, that couldn't be me. Like I said, if he wanted every once in a while to, me being a woman, because she was a little girl, but me being a woman and a man coming to me like that, like we're in a relationship and you're in an open relationship, we're dating, fine. Then as things progress and we want to get serious, it's just about me and you, babe. Like, and there can't be no other bitches after that. Like, sorry, there can't be no other girls after that. But being that I'm bisexual and I am who I am, I wouldn't mind every so often, maybe having a menage a trois, as they say. But that shit with him having the girls whenever, wherever, whoever, however, and he's got like 6 girls at one time, nah, that's not rocking. I'm sorry. So, next page. Daddy didn't come back that night, nor the next day, nor the next. He didn't call either, not even a text. If I was another bitch, perhaps I would have called him. But I'm me, and not even this nigga could cut my pride down to the point where I'd call his ass when I knew I was right. Anytime I even thought about it, I just replayed his tears in my mind and that conversation we had in bed. He wanted me. He loved me. He's pissed. But he'll come around. No, girl, no. No. Walk out that door. So I went about my days as normal. I worked out. I read books. I found a dance class to attend and did my thing, day in and day out. I left and returned to my suite with no issue. I even took myself shopping and got me a swimsuit. Found myself hitting the pool late night one night. I was missing him like crazy. I can't lie, but I figured maybe a late night swim would clear my mind. It didn't though. I kept thinking about how good he was. Probably looking on somebody's basketball court right now. Daddy loved to play ball at night, and he was damn good at it. Ugh. Tighten up, I told myself. I got out the pool, dried off, and enjoyed the breeze hitting my ass cheeks as I walked back to the room in my bikini. When I entered the room, there he was. And he was pissed. I saw an empty bottle of Hennessy on the table next to a melting cup of ice. My heart skipped a beat. I don't know why, but I was terrified. I could tell he had been drinking, and the look in his eye was more than anger. I could tell he had something else in his system as well. 3 things Daddy liked for certain. Pussy, a stiff drink, and his drugs. He looked at me and said, "You know what fucking time it is?" But before I could blink, he had rushed me and lifted me clean off the ground by my throat. He snatched the towel from me and hit me repeatedly, asking what the fuck was my problem. Who the fuck did I think I was playing? And what the fuck I had on, and who was I fucking? You think I'm one of these dumbass cats? What the fuck you take me for, huh? Who the fuck you been with? You know I don't play that shit. Oh, I couldn't breathe. So I just knew he couldn't have realistically expected me to speak. But he did. Because the next thing you know, he squeezed my throat harder and said, "Answer me, bitch." I just cried. He slapped me so hard, I temporarily went blind in one eye. He ripped off my thong and threw me on the bed. With one arm, he held me down, and with the other, he checked my pussy. I couldn't believe him. I just remember thinking, wow, you disappear on me for days and don't call, but you checking to see if I've been unfaithful? Nigga, I should be checking your dick. The nerve of him. After he was done with his stupid ass finger check, it should come as no surprise what he did next. Yes, he fucked me. I still remember how painful it was when he shoved it in. He fucked me for what felt like hours. Picture moans, pussy complaints, and threats combined. He cursed me out the entire time, telling me what I better not do and what he'd do if I did this or that. Let me find out. He kept saying that shit. By dawn, he had nutted in me 3 times and passed out with his dick still inside me. He was snoring so loud in my damn ear, I couldn't think straight. And I could feel his dick fluctuating from soft to hard all night. By the time the sun came up, I had to pee so bad, and I wanted his heavy ass off me. But he woke up with a rock-hard dick. I literally felt it grow and fill my walls as he started moaning and fucked me again. His whole body shook as he fed me long strokes, whispering in my ear how good my pussy was and how he was gonna beat my puss every morning for life. I was disgusted. Girl, wow. Let me just, you mean to tell me, I'm telling you. So R. Kelly takes Viagra. I'm sorry. Just by this alone, this is telling me that he takes Viagra. He takes Viagra. So he can be in the mood at any time, anywhere, any place. It doesn't matter. He has a sickness. He has an addiction. And he has a passion for young girls. They turn him on totally and completely. Like, there's no comparison to a grown woman. That is sick. That is sick. That is sick. That is sick. And you mean to tell me that he's not a pedophile? What? What? Oh my God, guys, I cannot wait till we read these other books together because this shit here is way beyond deep. This is I'm sorry, this is how I picture him. This is how I really picture this man. And now that I've read this book, holy cow, y'all. Holy cow. OMG. She was disgusted. Did you hear that? Disgusted. And I'm pretty sure these young ladies that are with him right now are feeling the same way. Disgusted. Disgusted. But still in love with him. It's just so sick and it's hard. It's sad. It's so sad. You know, he's really a master manipulator, guys. A truly master manipulator. And all these people supporting him are just as bad. It's just, they think it's okay. They think it's normal. You know, it's true. He is, he's a monster. He's really, really a monster. He's two different people, y'all. It's crazy. Oh, God. Next chapter. I don't mean it. After the sex was over, I was finally able to run to the restroom. My bladder felt like it was about to explode. Rob yelped from the room. Pee in that cup on the sink. What? He got this fascination with this pee-pee thing. I looked over my shoulder in disgust and rolled my eyes. Fuck it, I thought. He acts like he gonna drink this shit or something. Hell, I don't even care anymore. If he wants fucking urine, I'll give it to him. So yeah, y'all as crazy as... So yeah, y'all, as crazy as it sounds, I just peed in the damn cup. He'd been asking for months, and I just finally did it. I put the cup on the sink when I was done and caught a glimpse of my face. Daddy walked in right as the surprise, anger, and pain began to register on my face. I couldn't believe it. I'd been in a million street fights and never left with a scratch. Now here I was. My face was swollen, black and blue, lip cut, eyes black. I couldn't stop the tears from falling. Look at my face, I was screaming inside. My beautiful face. Look what he did to me. My whole body started to tremble. Once I got past looking at my own reflection in the mirror, I set my eyes on him before I could utter a word. He fell to his knees beside me, started crying and begging for my forgiveness. He kept calling himself dumb, said he didn't know why he did it. He kept saying something about not being right in the head and always fucking up a good thing. Kept saying he didn't mean it. He even said he understood if I couldn't forgive him because he couldn't forgive himself for what he did to me. I just stood there motionless in silence. I looked at his pathetic ass down there crying, and then I looked in the mirror at my face. I looked back at his insecure ass down there crying. I looked in the mirror at my fucking face, went back and forth between these two sights a few times. My mind was made up. Fuck him. Fuck his hand in marriage, and fuck all this shit. I was getting the fuck out of here. But I didn't utter one fucking word about how I really felt. But I did manage to utter 4 words. Daddy, I forgive you. What? No. No, 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 no. Oh, shit. Yo. this is sad. This is a sad, sad story. This is a sad story. This guy is a master manipulator for sure. He's been doing this forever. And he's good at it. Wow. You heard all that? Crying. But yeah, he continues to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And he knows he has a sickness is what he's saying. But you know what? He knows what the fuck he's doing at the end of the day. He ain't got no sickness. You know what I'm saying? It's just control. That's what he likes to fucking do. Control. It's all about control. Ay, ay, ay. Wow. And I feel so bad for these girls because think about how they really feel. Like, y'all, I can't. We need to donate to my channel, guys. I have my Cash App, information on my channel page, on my bio there, my description. I have also in one of my videos there, I forgot which one it is, but one of the videos there I talk about my book read and, how I want to start a book club. And there I have listings of the books and the prices of the books. If you guys want to request book or you guys want me to read a particular book or suggest the book, I've already had a suggestion by someone. I forgot who you are. Shout out to you, by the way, for suggesting a book by another young lady who was with a basketball star. I forgot her name, Rogers or something. And it's a tell-all book about her having an affair with R. Kelly and, still being married with her husband and so forth. So that sounds like a good book too. And I want to read Lisa Van Allen's book as soon as possible. Like, we got to read these books. So guys, if you can, like I said, donate to my Cash App. It's in my bio, in the description of my channel. And like I said in one of the videos there, if I can, I'm going to see if I can put up another little, a thumbnail or something like that and, throw that out there in that so that, we can do this. So this book is deep and oh my God. Okay. So the next chapter is Half on a Baby. Oh my God. So like this dude is, I can't. Was everything cool now? Hell fuck no. But I wasn't going to blow my cover at this point. Look how he overreacted about me not being in my room after he abandoned me for days. No. I just had to play things cool and act normal. Hell, my plan was to act better than normal. It should come as no surprise he wanted more sex after I told him I forgave him. Psh, a typical man who wants to control the situation by having sex, thinking that sex is going to make everything all right. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all got to get over that. That doesn't happen, guys. That's not a real thing. Let it go. Let it go. Sex doesn't always resolve our issues. We must talk it out and work it out. Then we can have sex later. No. Then she says, it should come as no surprise he wanted more sex after I told him I forgave him. This man has a sexual libido of the fucking Energizer Buddy. And I gave it to him. I sucked his dick like my life depended on it. Kissing it, licking it, spitting it, gripping it, and jacking it. Just how he liked it. I spit on his balls, put them in my mouth, and made shit real messy. She was giving him all types of slappy head. Daddy loves nasty shit like that. He likes when you're confident, seductive, talk dirty, put in work, and keep that shit wet and messy. And I was everything he liked, especially in this moment. I slowly slid his dick down my throat while still jacking and playing with his balls with my other hand. His moans grew louder and louder, and right when it felt like he was about to nut, I stopped. I got up and walked over to my gym bag. His face immediately looked pissed. When daddy's in the mood, nothing else matters. So he wanted to know why the fuck I stopped. I said nothing. Just grabbed the dildo from my gym bag, came back to the bed, and straddled him from the back. I couldn't stand the sight of him at the moment, but the sight of my ass bouncing around while I rode his dick would please him just as much as eye contact. Oh, brother, Lord have mercy. She said she grabbed that. Wow. Oh, man. You know, to each his own, you know, there's all types of, alphabets out there, LGBTQTCD, you know. And, sex is sex, and people like pleasuring themselves in certain ways. And yes, the man's erogenous zone is in the anal. This is a known fact. This is a fact. Pero she just, she's a little girl, like, oh my God, I can't. Like, young girls like that, experiencing stuff like that so young. I think doing that type of stuff is for women. You have to have the right mentality to go into those things and do those things, man. It's not about confidence. I don't know what the hell he talking about, que confident. Listen, it's about the mentality, bro. It's about the emotional and the mentality. If you ain't got that emotional way that you can do that and deal with that, and you don't have that mentality to do it and deal with that, you shouldn't be doing it. Oh boy. So, next page. I turned on the TV and the sounds of the buff men moaning seemed to roar loudly. Oh, so now they're watching porn on TV. Okay. I left the volume up, put him inside me, positioned the dildo in his ass, and went to work. He couldn't fucking take it. The way I rode DICK always drove his ass crazy. And me voluntarily adding the anal play was driving him insane. I don't know who moans were louder, mine, his, or the porn on TV. My PUSSY was so wet, it was ridiculous. I slow winded, grinded, and bounced on his DICK until he shook so hard, I thought he was having a seizure, girl. Oh, he was having a seizure. Lord have mercy. With his nut still oozing from inside me, he flipped me over and made me hold my legs behind my head. I did as I was told, and he sucked every bit of that nut out of my PUSSY. He ate me until I felt like I couldn't breathe. Kept calling me Daddy's little freak. He kept saying he loved when I let her out and asking if I wanted more. He wanted me to say yes, so I did. He got up and put his DICK back in me and gave me more and more DICK. My body shook and my PUSSY squirted repeatedly until we eventually both passed out. When I woke up, Daddy was already up. From the looks of the steamy bathroom and the towel wrapped around him, he had already showered. He walked out glistening, and at first glance, I noticed how hard his DICK got when he looked at me. He gave me the look, and I knew what it meant. I fell to my knees and gave him what he needed. It didn't take him long. When I got up, he kissed me, smacked me on my ass, and told me to go get cleaned up. I hit the shower with no hesitation. 20 minutes into my shower, he was yelling for me to get out because he was about to leave. I was nowhere near done, but I did what I was told and got out so I could hug, kiss, compliment, and embrace him before he left for the studio. Oh, God. She had to basically brown nose him so that he could walk out the door happy. Lord. Daddy was big on acknowledgement. Lord. Oh my God, he's another fucking Donald Trump. Oh, disgusting. He let me know he probably wouldn't be back till the next day because he had a lot to get finished up. I nodded and said, okay. He grabbed my face and kissed me so passionately while grabbing my ass. I think I creamed. I was so confused. My mom was saying, leave his abusive ass. My body always yearns for him, and my heart still loved him. You see, that's the problem. He just works his hoodoo, right? He the Voodoo Man. That's what we gonna call him. Hashtag Voodoo Man. Okay? Hashtag Voodoo Man. Who do the voodoo like R. Kelly do? Suddenly, and then she's in a hotel. She's in a suite, sitting there waiting for him. Like, go back home to your grandmother, girl. Suddenly, we heard a few of his crew at the door telling him it was time. I could tell they probably had already been sipping on something. I needed some of whatever they had, but Daddy yelled out to give him 10 minutes. From there, he cuffed my ass, picked me up, and gave me head for at least 5 before I squirted everywhere. No matter how angry I was with him or hurt, I was by him. He knew my body, and she loved him. He laid me down on the bed and sucked my nipples while undressing from the waist down and took 10 of the deepest strokes in me you could ever imagine. And with a tight grip around my throat, he told me he loved me. I was so good. It was so good, and I cried. He wiped my tears, kissed me, and told me we were going to be all right. And with the blink of an eye, his pants were up, and he was out the door. Lord. So, picture this. Yeah. So this is what he does with the girls. He leaves them places, goes to do other bitches, comes back to the girl. Like I said, they're calling him like, we hungry. Oh, God, I can't. We hungry, Daddy. Where you at? You still in the studio? Yeah, well, you're going to get your food. All right, don't worry about it. And then he goes and he probably forgets about the food and then he starves them. Comes back, they're texting him. His boys is like, oh, okay, get the girl the food. Okay, oh, I forgot. Get her. Yeah, make sure she eats. Oh, God. Like I said, he treats his girls differently. I'm pretty sure he treats them all different. They all get the same treatment, but they're all treated different depending on how good of a girl they are for him. Oh, Jesus, Lord. I feel sorry for these girls. He just is a manipulator. Suddenly, like he said, the crew came to the door. She squirted everywhere. No matter how angry I was with him or hurt I was by him, he knew my body and she loved him. Okay, at this point, my mind was playing tricks on me. I paced the floor back and forth, back and forth. I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. Was I really about to leave or not? If I was, there was no time to spare. I had to do it tonight. That stunt he pulled before he left kept me playing over and over and over again in my mind. Buck, I needed it to stop looping. I had to get out, I told myself. I had to train myself to think about the bad, not the good, nor the sex. There weren't as many bad times, but they were severe enough to put a stop to things now. This was only going to get worse. And just like that, I finalized my decision and packed my bags. Next chapter, y'all. That was, whew, girl. Thank God, you know what? Azriel and Jocelyn, I need you ladies to snap out of it. Leave this man. He is no good for y'all, man. Please leave this man. Like I said, y'all ain't even got to go home. Just leave him. Leave him. You know, go back to your families. Communicate with your families again. Go back to them. They love you so much and they miss you so much. And they want so much for you guys. And yes, you know what? There was a whole bunch of mess between you guys with this man and all this back and forth. But you guys didn't mean it. They didn't mean what was going on. Like, it wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. Guys, go home. Go home. Go back home. Be safe. Be comforted. Be loved. You guys, God bless you ladies. Please, God, pray for these ladies. Let these girls go home. Let these girls go home. And the next chapter is baby, 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 baby. Lord, so many babies, Jesus. Being back at Grandma's house felt so good. You see? You see that? She said, being back at Grandma's house felt so good. I was at peace, felt safe and loved. There was no arguing or backhand slaps, just me and my Nana. I'll never forget the look of horror on her face when I showed up with my bags. She cried, asking me, what happened to my face? And I cried while holding my head down in the shame and lying to her. I told her a crazed fan attacked me at one of Daddy's shows, and I was upset with him for not having me better protected and allowing it to happen. I remember her telling me, oh, baby, you can't be mad with him forever about this. It comes with the life. That wasn't his fault. I knew she was right, but if only she knew the half of what was really going on. I just nodded my head and told her she was right. Then I asked if I could come home anyway, and she welcomed me with open arms. You see that? That's crazy. Bendito. That's so, wow, Domestic violence is a real thing, y'all. This is not a joke. Anybody who's out there, who's listening to this read, please, ladies, go get help. There's a hotline. Call it. Leave. Talk to your families. Talk to a friend. Whomever. Get the help that you need and get out. Get out. Get out. Get out while you can. Get out. Before it gets worse, God forbid you wind up dead. Please, if anybody's going through some domestic violence situation, please get help. Please. As the weeks went by, I found my face fully healed and back to normal. I was back jogging every day and just overall feeling better about myself. I never realized how much I missed a home-cooked meal until I had one. With Daddy, everything was takeout. However, the oddest thing happened one day when I asked my Nana to make my favorite. I don't know what it was. The food tasted great. But for some reason, I couldn't hold it down. I wasn't sure at first of what I was feeling. But when my mouth began to fill with saliva, I knew. And I ran to the bathroom. I threw up everywhere. I was so confused. I was never the vomiting type. After I got the bathroom all cleaned up, I excused myself and told my Nana I wasn't feeling so well. I went to my room and lay down. I couldn't stop thinking about what had just happened. Why the hell did I just throw up? Then it hit me like a lightning bolt, and I sat up in bed. It had been 4 months since I left Rob. We never used protection. And more often than not, he nutted inside me. Oh my God, I was going to be sick. I can't be pregnant. I just can't be. I quickly jumped out the bed, went to my dresser, and grabbed the test from my top drawer. Me and my girls always used to grab a brunch. We used to always grab a bunch from the dollar store, joking about never knowing when we may need it. Fuck. Why'd I have to need it, you know? Waiting those few minutes for those results were the scariest minutes of my life. I still love Daddy, but a baby? I wasn't ready for this. Nor did I want him to have a for sure link to me for life. I was loving my freedom, being back home and having peace of mind. In the midst of my thoughts, I looked over and saw both those fucking lines. Fuck. I ran to my room and cried. I cried for an entire hour. Why, God, why? You saw him beat me. You know what I just ran away from. Why you let me get pregnant? I just couldn't stop the tears. I was terrified. I'm no killer. I didn't want to abort the baby. But how could I have it? I haven't talked to Daddy since I left. When I got to my grandma's house, I powered my phone down, tucked it in my drawer, and hadn't touched it since. I didn't know what to do. I don't want to tell him. He'll make me keep it for sure, I thought. Hell, I don't even want to talk to him. And then he walked in. What? How he walking in Grandma's house? Like, Grandma, what are you doing, Grandma? No! You see, I can't. No! Where's she from again? Chicago? This is how these people are in Chicago, because they know of R. Kelly, so it's like, oh, go ahead. He's a superstar, he's a mega star, he could do nothing wrong. Oh my God, oh, just leave him be. Why are you mad at him? Just go with him. Go, go, go. No! Grandma, shame on you, Grandma. Grandma! Oh, Lord. Next chapter, y'all. Come to Daddy. I almost pissed myself when I saw him. I closed my eyes real hard and opened them to make sure I wasn't dreaming. What the fuck was he doing here after 4 months? I thought for sure maybe he'd forgotten about me by now. Wouldn't this have been something he did just a few days or maybe a week after I left? Just what the fuck he's doing here? And then his spell starts to hit me. He smelled so good. He had a fresh cut, dressed in all black, looking dapper, draped in his Cuban links with that cigar in his mouth. He looked at me and smirked, handed me a huge bouquet of pink roses. He said, "Hey, baby, Daddy missed you." I wiped my tears and trembled as I said, "Hey, Daddy." He told me not to be scared and come give him a hug. It was funny he said that because I was terrified, but I figured I was safe at my grandma's house. She loved him and thought he was a total angel. Oh, Grandma! So I knew he wouldn't act up here. I got up and gave him a big hug. I know it sounds crazy, but I always melt in his arms. It felt so good laying on his chest. And then I just bawled and cried my eyes out. I know y'all are probably thinking, damn, this bitch is always crying. But y'all have no idea how much turmoil I was going through on inside. I love this man. I really, really loved this man with all of me. And now I knew I was carrying his child. But I couldn't even be happy about it because of what we were going through. I just wanted him to be right. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want his anger and his misunderstandings to end in violence. I didn't want to be the main one. I wanted to be his only one. I was all over the place. He had me so torn. As I cried, he just rubbed my hair and kept kissing me, saying, "Baby, it's okay. Daddy missed you too." He had no idea what I was really thinking. I asked him what took him so long to come and get me. He told me he called me 1,000,000 times, but I never answered. And it started saying the voicemail was full. He told me he left tons of messages, and I figured this was probably true. I powered my phone off and tossed it in since day one of my return home. Since he told me he thought I didn't love him anymore, I remember crying, telling him, I could never stop loving you, Rob, never. Then he asked the question I had been dreading. So, why did you leave me? He looked serious and pissed. He began to stutter a little and said, you really hurt me. I thought we were in this together. You promised me you'd never leave, even if I fucked up. So why? I just stood there quiet. I put my head down. I didn't know what to say. In the inside, I was screaming, you're hurt. No, I'm hurt. And you promised me you'd never hurt me, but you did. I don't want you hitting me because you're mad. I'm not your punching bag. I'm not a punching bag. And I don't want you disappearing on me because you're mad or tripping on me because I want you to myself. But instead, all I could get out was, I don't know. He had no idea it hurt me more to leave him than it probably hurt him finding out I was gone. This shit was a mess. Ooh, child, that was a mess. Oh, Lord. I put the roses down on the table, and I noticed he closed/locked my room door behind him. I knew he wanted me. He backed me into the corner and started to strip me while staring in my eyes. I told him I didn't feel comfortable with my Nana in the next room. He told me she met him outside when he pulled up and said she was going to the store for a few hours. Relieved to hear, breathing hard, and doped up on lust, I helped him take my clothes off. I went for his pants and he stopped me. Told me he was running this show. He bent me over to the bed, spread my ass cheeks, and stuck his face in it. He ate it so good. My P-U-S-S-Y and my ass. He smacked my ass, kicked and sucked on my ass cheeks. It didn't take me long to cream. I felt him stop and started to look behind me. But he instructed me to close my eyes and stay looking forward. I did as I was told. He told me to arch my back and put my hands behind me. I did as I was told. The next thing I knew, he cuffed and blindfolded me. He spanked me and told me I had been a bad girl. It hurt like hell, but I liked it. With every spank, I got wetter. Then he slid his D-I-C-K in, nice and slow. My P-U-S-S-Y was so tight. It gripped Daddy just right. He started to moan as soon as he got the head in. Kept saying how warm and tight it was. He started off slow, then sped it up. If I moved out of position, he spanked me and instructed me to arch my back deeper and deeper. My juices were everywhere. I was so turned on. I loved how he took control. I loved it. When he was forceful with me in bed, he kept whispering this was Daddy's pussy. As I threw it back, I moaned that it was. That's good, baby. Daddy loves his pussy. Fuck this pussy good, Daddy. I'm sorry, baby. Fuck. Daddy about to bust in this P-U-S-S-Y. And he nutted. It was so warm. I felt it oozing down my thighs when he pulled out. I thought he was finished, but he smacked his D-I-C-K on my ass, grabbed me by the cuffs, and put him back in. It was like something got into him, and he went crazy in it. It was so good, I couldn't catch my breath. I missed Daddy's D-I-C-K so much. He shook uncontrollably inside me. He went so deep it hurt a little, but I didn't stop him. I took every inch. I took every thrust. Fuck. I was so moist. I just started screaming, fuck me, daddy. And he was like, you want daddy to fuck you? I screamed, yes. It was so fucking good. I didn't want him to stop. Something about the way he grinded in it. Something about the way he smacked my ass and played with my clit while going deep. Something about his voice while he whispered dirty shit to me. If I could be a bitch at any time, it was while he fucked me. I loved when he told me I was his bitch and called me his little daddy's freak. I loved when he said he owned me. But wait, he slowed it down and went stroke for stroke, questioning me. You love daddy? Yes, I moaned. You miss daddy? Oh, yes, daddy. Whose pussy is this, huh? Daddy's. Who? Daddy's, I screamed. You come home with daddy? Yes, daddy. We gonna have this problem again? He spanked me. No, daddy. Nah, I can't hear you. We gonna have this problem again? He spanked me harder. No, daddy. Where you belong. Fuck. I couldn't think straight. This DICK was too damn good. I said, where you belong, he yelled to me as he spanked me, moaning, with daddy. Turn over and put your hands above your head, he whispered. Still cuffed, I did as I was told. He kissed me, and I stuck my tongue in his mouth, kissed him back, and bit his lip a little while he removed the blindfold. He got on top of me and put his DICK in my mouth. When he released, I felt his warm babies going down my throat. Oh, God, Lord, really? I swallowed every drop. He ran his DICK over my lip, my titties, and played in my juices. He stuck it back in. He whispered to me he couldn't get enough, and we had to leave ASAP before he really got lost and my grandma came home. He couldn't stop. He said he needed all of me, and he wanted me round for round. I remember giggling and asking him how we could leave with him still inside me. He moaned as he stroked. And then I couldn't stop my moans either. There was no stopping us. I wrapped my legs around him and threw this PUSSY all the way back. His moans got louder and louder. He started screaming, fuck, and my name. He had never done that before. And then I heard my nana scream, fuck, auntie, it's time for y'all to go home. I never saw him pull out so fast. We jumped like two kids getting caught, hunching and died laughing. He yelled out, sorry, Ma, and told me to pack my bag. He said just grab anything I absolutely needed, and we could buy the rest later. I did as I was told. We came out the room hand in hand, smiling. My nana was pleased. Who was I fooling? I was pleased too. It was like I gave him a clean slate. I had no idea of the fate that awaited me upon my return. Daddy quickly made his truck a sex scene. Oh, Lord. I don't think we got halfway down the block before he wanted head and for me to ride him. One thing's for sure, I never denied him. I suppose his molding in that area was successful. As many times as it gets hard, it was my job as his woman to handle it. That's what Daddy taught me, and that's what I did. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's a walking libido. He is a walking sex toad. You have to, this is why he needs all these girls everywhere. And then these people that help him, they help him to support his habits. They were getting paid to help him with his habits. They knew what was going on. Yo, they need to subpoena all these people that work behind the scenes with this guy. They need to do this. They need to do this. Of course, a lot of them didn't know what was going on in the bedrooms per se because he would be with those girls alone. The only ones that were in the rooms were the ones he invited. Those are the ones that we need to hear from. Yeah, those are the ones. Like Bubba. Yeah, Bubba. Where you at, Bubba? We need to see you, Bubba. Oh, my God. So, Daddy quickly made his truck a sex scene. Oh, and that's what she did. Sorry. Next chapter. When a woman's fed up. Upon our return, things were great, or so I thought. Until about 3 hours into our evening, everything was fine, and then it's like he just snapped. He turned to me and started yelling. He grabbed me, he choked me, he slapped me, he beat me until I blacked out. To this day, all I remember is him calling me a stupid bitch and screaming about me leaving him. It was like a child having a violent tantrum, and I just remember crying, thinking, I thought we were good. I thought everything was fine. I woke up in shock. I don't know how long I had been out for, but it felt like it had just happened. I was in so much pain. My stomach was killing me. I went to rub it for comfort and realized I was tied to the bed. I tried everything to get loose, but the cuffs were digging in my skin. They were so tight. I was there for hours. It was the most degrading experience of my life. Here I was in all this pain, bleeding, and pretty sure I was miscarrying right in this bed. I held my bladder so long, I eventually just peed on myself. I was starving and nauseated at the time. I was able to turn over slightly to keep from choking on my vomit, and my mouth was so dry. He didn't even leave me water. Jesus. Oh my God, what a fucking monster. Ew. What? So I'm thinking this is what he was talking about in the Gayle King interview. Oh, that I have them locked up in chains and handcuffed to the bed and I won't let them use the bathroom. And, yeah, I think this is what he was talking about. I just remember thinking this was it. And I was going to die right there in that bed. And I almost did. Dr. Smith told me when he was called there, I had been tied for 3 days, was covered in blood, piss and vomit, and unconscious. He told me they said Rob freaked out and called him from a McDonald's. Can you believe that? This nigga flipped out after finding what possibly could have been my dead body and went to grab a double cheeseburger? What? Oh my God. Dr. Smith said he knew immediately I had miscarried, and Rob was, of course, shocked because he didn't know there was a baby. But nevertheless, Dr. Smith said he let him know I had to get to a hospital ASAP if I was going to survive. Do you know they told me he kept saying no? After he kept saying no, afraid of what I would say when I woke up. But this was the man I loved, ladies and gentlemen. This selfish fucking bastard. Thankfully, Dr. Smith already had an ambulance on the way, ignored Rob, and rushed me to the ER anyway. I owe him my life. Truly. Upon regaining consciousness, I recall waking up to this ugly older black chick. She really had a distinctive face. When she began to speak, her Jamaican accent was so strong. She told me not to say a word, and Rob wanted to talk to me as soon as I woke up. Who the fuck are you? She claimed to be my new caretaker hired by Rob. The hell she wasn't. Before I could verbalize that, Dr. Smith walked in and greeted me. He was very nice. He asked her to leave the room so he could discuss some private things with me about my condition. The bitch acted like she didn't hear. The bitch acted like she didn't want to move. Said Rob said she needed to know everything. He urged her several times before she got the picture. That's when he shared with me everything that happened and told me I had to get away from Rob. Okay, we need to find this Dr. Smith guy. Whoever you are, Dr. Smith, if you're out there, please go to the FBI as soon as possible. Whatever doctor that he hires to deal with these girls' sicknesses, including his own, you need to be subpoenaed and you need to fight and you need to let these people know, the FBI, the lawyers, know what is going on with this man and what he has been doing to these girls forever. You need to be there. You need to be there. We need to hear from the hashtag subpoena R. Kelly's private doctors. Okay? Yeah, really. So, as I was saying, she said that she needed to know everything, that he urged her several times, da-da-da-da-da. And then he said, and he told me I had to get away from Rob. So, what if next time you aren't so lucky? I was speechless. I mean, what could I say? He was right. He told me he had 2 daughters my age. And he'd kill a man dead for doing what Daddy was doing to me. I just lay there quiet. Was the herpes not enough? You know he knew he had that, right? Do you know how many girls I've witnessed have the exact moment with him? For God's sake, he just killed your child. I beg of you, please let me help you. I just laid there crying and I told him I loved him. It was at that moment I realized just how fucked up I was. Just how fucked up all this shit was. This man had in fact just beat our baby out of me. Been drugging me. Having me recruit other girls to sleep with. Allowed another man to sleep with me. Had a house full of brainwashed girlfriends. And here I was refusing help because I loved him. Wow. I look back now and wonder how I got so lost. How did I ever lose myself in this man to that extent? Dr. Smith gave me his personal number. He told me to memorize it and use it. He told me he'd come get me himself. That made me feel better, at least knowing I had someone I could call in the midst of the emotions. Then the hired help returned with Daddy on the phone. He wanted to talk to me. I put the phone to my ear and sat there silent. He began to cry. He apologized. He said he loved me 1,000,000 times and how he was going to kill himself if I would have been dead because he wouldn't have been able to live without himself. Because he wouldn't be able to live with himself. I killed our baby. I hate myself. Oh, God. I didn't know. I just sat there shaking my head. He was sick. He was really fucking sick or severely full of shit. Started saying he was going to make shit up to me when they let me come home. You coming home to Daddy, right, baby? I should have said no. I should have went to the police right then and there. But instead, I thought about my grandmother, my cousin, and all the people he threatened to have killed if I ever left him for real. I had to be smart about things. Then I thought about Ray. Always ease yourself out of the lion's mouth. So I told him, yes, but something in me died that day. I didn't feel the same. I wasn't the same. He has slowly taken bits of pieces of me, but he left me hollow this time. Oh my God, Dr. Smith, whoever you are, please, 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 you need to go say something to somebody. Oh God. I could barely walk upon our return, and Rob was still nowhere to be found. We'll call this old caretaker lady Stank Winch. Every damn day she was there. I didn't like this bitch, man. When Dr. Smith would come check on me, it was everything. I had grown fond of him, especially since he displayed genuine concern. Everything about Stankwich gave me chills. It was like pure evil. It felt like she walked around with a dark cloud over her. And I didn't want y'all to think I was just being difficult. Trust me, I wasn't. It was just something that wasn't right, man. When she served me food, I refused to eat it. I kept playing Ray's voice over and over in my head. It was one thing not to trust Rob with my food, but I really didn't trust this bitch. So I only ate what Dr. Smith brought for me. A few weeks flew by, and then your favorite artist finally decided to show his fucking face. I remember being in bed and hearing his voice in the hall. He was asking how I was and where I was because he wanted to see me. When I heard footsteps, I quickly closed my eyes and played sleep. I felt him sit down on the bedside. I felt him sit down on the bed beside me and rub my face. Excuse me, y'all. My lips are like blah, 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 blah. He leaned in and kissed my forehead and said he was sorry and he loved me. His voice cracked when he said it, as if he was going to cry or something. He said he never meant to hurt me, and he loved me more than anything. He just couldn't understand why he was so fucked up. He said he knew I didn't love him anymore, but he'd never stop loving me, and he pleaded with God to make me still love him and give him another chance. I wish I could have played sleep longer, but I coughed and moved around. My eyes opened as a reflex, and there he was smiling at me. Oh, God. He was putting on the only fucking show. Oh, my God. He was putting on the only show. Are you kidding me? He was so fake in the funk right there. That was so fake and phony. Get the fuck. This man knows how to play it, boy. Hey, baby girl. How you feeling? I stared for a few and then faintly responded, "Hey, Daddy." He gave me this grand speech about love and how he knows God sent him his wife. It sent him his wife and me because we had been through too much, and I was still by his side through all of this. I just remember looking at him, y'all, but seeing the devil in rare form was his horns. But seeing the devil in rare form with his horns out, I laid there quietly until I eventually dozed off from my meds. I remember waking up and it being after dark. The digital clock on the dresser read 2:38. I'll never forget it. Then I remember trying to get out of the bed myself to go to the restroom. As I limped my way down the hall, I saw one of the doors cracked. It looked like candles were lit and I heard voices. When I peeked in, I saw Daddy and Stank Winch. There were candles lit, and I swear it looked like they were having a fucking seance or some shit. I heard her ask him something about my essence. He wanted to know how he could make me stay. She asked if he had been making me pee in the cup like she asked. I could have fucking passed out. I remember thinking, what the fuck is this? Some voodoo shit? And it was. Who knew the whole time Rob had been collecting fucking bodily fluids from me to give to this crazy ass lady? Shit. Felt like a crazy ass Lifetime movie. Something in the room fell, and I moved my ass so fast as I could to get to that bathroom. Daddy came in after me and asked if I needed help. I thought about him. What? Collecting urine and said no. Of course. He helped anyway. He cleaned me up and helped me back to bed. Then instead of leaving, he cuddled up next to me and sang to me till I fell asleep. Everything was so messed up. I could never see him the same after all this shit. And the more I observed and found out, the harder it was for me to act normal around him. I didn't know how I was going to get out of this, but my goal was to get the fuck out. My patience had worn thin, and I had no more sympathy for his tears. Time passed. I was back to 100%, and we were back to having stupid-ass arguments. Daddy's controlling behavior had hit hard next level. Now he had a strict set of rules I was to follow, which affected everything down to my body language and style of dress. He was so paranoid these days. I just didn't fucking get it. Suddenly my clothes weren't good enough anymore. He wanted me to wear sweats and baggy jeans, clothes that hid my shape. He wanted me to wear hats and ordered me to look down and not make any eye contact with anyone. He had cameras installed and wanted me to be watched at all times. Shit got real spooky. I just didn't understand why he was so fucking insecure. Nothing was worse than him cuffing me to a bed every night. His excuse, it's the only way he could sleep comfortably knowing I wasn't going anywhere. And this was both when he slept with me and didn't. It was pure torture, but this was my life. I dealt with a year of his extreme restrictions before enough was just a fucking enough. Kissing him disgusts me. Sex with him disgusts me. His voice, at this point, everything about him fucking disgusted me. I remember the last straw was one night we got into a huge fight because I refused to be cuffed before bed, and that was it. I wasn't scared anymore. I was back to myself, and I was fighting back. Daddy told Stank Winch to hold me down. I kicked him in the nuts as hard as I could and hit her over the head with a vase. I was wild. I didn't give a fuck. I was done, and I was getting the fuck out of here. Dr. Smith was already waiting in the spot we discussed to come get me, and that gave me even more courage to fight back like hell. All I could think about was getting back to Grandma's. When I got out of that door, I ran, and I never looked back. Well, that was deep, guys. Hoo-wee! Well, this is the end of this part. We're on part 3, and we read chapters 17 to 22. We have 4 more chapters left, and that will be part 4, and then the book will be completed. Then hopefully we can start on the next book, which I want to read is Surviving the Pied Piper. I'm going to leave the description on the video where I have the books that I want to read and how much they cost. I'll leave it in the description box in this video so you guys can check it out and donate to the channel, and we can purchase some books to read together. I will leave my Cash App info in the description box as well. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed this reading. I can't wait to finish this book. This was crazy. And please make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, share, hit that notification bell, And see you around. See you next time, guys. Peace.
I must have called 1,000 times.